Amsterdam calling, so pick up.
Damn Jerry here again with Amsterdam Calling, where alles is lief, leuk en lekker. And we are going to explore some of the hottest foods in Amsterdam that have gone viral on TikTok and Instagram over the last couple of years. The ones garnering millions of views and attracting large crowds who can't wait to gobble them up, photograph them, or film them for their social media channels. At first, I wasn't a fan of this trend. One, because I just didn't understand why anybody would want to stand in line for so long, sometimes over an hour, just for a food that some influencer recommended. And two, it was having a negative impact on the neighborhood. The large crowds, the long lines, people were standing in front of other people's stores and people couldn't get into them. People were sitting on stoops of neighbors' houses. So it was really having a negative impact on the city. And it seemed to be less about the food and just more about getting that right photograph for social media. But over the last year and a half, things have gotten better. The lines aren't as long. And the owners of these shops have hired security staff who do a really good job at controlling the crowds. Now is the perfect time to go and see what the fuss is all about and give these foods a try, and to see if it's really worth waiting in long lines and paying the amount of prices that they're charging for these things. So I'm starting to give walking tours through the Amsterdam city center through my company, Amsterdam and You Walking Tours. It's going to be a comprehensive 3-hour tour with lots of popular highlights and of course some hidden gems thrown in that you won't find in the tourist guides. So if you like my videos and you want to spend some time with me walking around Amsterdam in the city center, book my tour now through my website, amsterdamandyu.com. I'll leave a link in the description box below. See you in Amsterdam. This shop could arguably make the best cookie in Amsterdam. And when I say cookie, I mean just one. They only make one kind of cookie. You know that expression, just find one thing and do it right? Well, they took that to heart, and that is all they make, one type of cookie. The place is called Van Stopple. It is here on the Rokan, almost to the Dam Square, and it probably was one of the first Instagram foods to go viral on Instagram 10 years ago, and the crowds just built up ever since. The dark chocolate cookie with a melted white chocolate inside. Let's see how it is. Oh my God. It just fills your mouth with good gooiness. You can taste the dark chocolate of the cookie. At the same time, you can taste the different taste of the white chocolate. Thumbs up. It was delicious. Now, is it worth coming here and spending some time in line? Of course. I mean, we only waited 10 minutes. You saw the line here. You can get one cookie for €3. And if you buy 6, they come in a nice box and you get 6 for 15. And you're allowed to get a total of 3 boxes, 18. I give tours here at Dam Square. We start at 10, and if I have a small group, and I'll bring them here for a little treat, and they love it. I'm now in the 9 streets in search of a shop that serves a traditional Dutch street food, but also elevates it to another level. Well, the place is called Fable Fruits, and they serve the Dutch classic French fries, just like other places here, but they also serve a kind that has gone viral, and that is French fries or Dutch fries covered with truffle mayo with melted Parmesan cheese on top, and it has caused such a sensation that there are lines down the block, and the line is already extended to the next block over on the bridge. Fable Fruits' fries with truffle mayo dressing and Parmesan cheese on top. Guys, I found a utility box and to put my fries on so you can see me eat. For all those who like to watch people eat, I don't know, is that a thing? I don't know. But anyway, guys, they are delicious. Combination of both soft and crispy, but boy is that truffle mayo and boy is that Parmesan cheese so good, so tangy, and it really makes everything. It is very much a treat, worth it. It was only a 10-minute wait. Even if you have to wait a half hour, not that bad. So over the bridge, only 10 minutes, perfect. You pay €6, I think €6.75 or €6.65, which really isn't that bad. Fable Fruits, yes. We're on our way to the next place to try our next food, and it's relatively simple because it's right here in the 9 streets, just a couple of blocks away from Fable Fruits. And it is a place that doesn't elevate any classics. In fact, they invented something new and brought it to Amsterdam. And that is a Korean style fluffy toast. And the place is called Chun Cafe. And they started out by specializing in matcha and milk tea, but it is these kind of fluffy toasts that have become the star, and so much so there are lines down the block again, over the bridges, and I heard sometimes up to an hour wait. Guys, I'm now sitting canal side with my Bun Bun. I decided not to wait for a table. That would have taken double. I already took an hour for takeaway, and I was happy to do that. Well, the two most popular sandwiches that they have are the ribeye bulgogi, and bulgogi are thinly sliced marinated pieces of beef, and they add an egg and a spicy mild sauce with that. And they also have a garlic shrimp and egg, but I went for the ribeye bulgogi. Oh, the salty, sweet gooiness of everything. Let's first talk about the bread. It is thick, it is buttery, it is soft, and that meat in a sweet and sour sauce, more sweet. It's like shredded beef, and then they put like some egg on the top. It is just heavenly goodness. I definitely have to wash some clothes tonight, I can tell you. I have probably some sauce stains on myself trying to film and eat at the same time. And definitely get takeaway. I mean, if you want to wait an hour, hour and a half, that's up to you. I just don't like to wait for things, especially that long. But I have to say, the food is delicious. For our next stop, we find ourselves in the busy shopping street called the Kalverstraat here in the city center. And we're at a place called Van Wonderen Stroopwafels. So you have a flat Dutch cookie with caramel syrup in between. That is the traditional way. But here at Van Wonderen, they elevate it to a new level. And they do this by dipping half of it in some kind of chocolate, whether it's white milk or dark, and then they cover it in toppings like with sprinkles or fruit or nuts and that sort of thing. So the question is the new elevated stroopwafel worth the wait and worth the money? So what I got was a chocolate brownie, and they dipped it in like a dark milk chocolate, and then of course put sort of like caramel fudge on top of it. I mean, this is gonna be one gooey mess. That is definitely overload. It's almost like all the tastes together just form one jumbled mess. It's just like one big mouthful of gooey sugar. After one bite, I don't think I can finish this. I mean, not only was it impossible to eat because it was just dripping with the chocolate sauce. It was €11.50 for the small, the medium is 13, and the big one is like 14 euros. So, I mean, way, way, way overpriced. This is one to avoid, and just stick to the traditional stroopwafel without all the other extra mess. Our next place is somewhere between the Dam and the Jordaan, and it's called Lauren's, and they make something special called a Crookie. And this is a combination croissant, chocolate chip cookie, or any other kind of cookie. Their classic is croissant and chocolate chip cookie. I don't know, it sounds a bit Frankensteinish, but it sounds delicious. Here's the Crookie. Getting out of the box was something of a challenge. It's a little delicate. Guys, I just had to clean myself up. I don't even know if I got everything. The Crookie was so delicious, but it's still very messy to eat because it's hot, it's warm, the chocolate's melting. But I was able to eat it, and I ate the whole thing. It's delicious because you have the warm, soft, buttery, salty flavor of the croissant. mixed with the sweet, chewy flavor of the cookie and the cookie dough and the chocolate chips. It is a little messy, so be aware, but it is very, very good. And this is Lawrence with the Crookie. The last three places that we're gonna try are not necessarily foods that have gone viral, but ones that I've tried before and really like, and I wanna share it with you. Now, two of these places are very old school Dutch, and maybe more locals know about them than tourists. And the place that I'm headed to now is just fairly new. The place is called Bun Bun, and they specialize in handcrafted artisanal buns made from croissant dough. And their flavors have a classic twist, both sweet and savory. I'm fighting off the bees, so if you see a sudden jerk on the camera, it's me trying to get away from the bees. Anyway, so I got two different kinds. I got the sweet, which is a pistachio with pistachio crumble. And for the savory, I got bacon cheese with maple syrup. Oh my God. The pistachio. Oh my God. First of all, the dough is very buttery. And the pistachio cream is inside. You see a little bit of the cream on top with the crumble, but it's sort of a surprise. The pistachio cream inside is so good. Bacon, cheese, and maple syrup. I did one taste for Instagram. It was delicious. Let's see. Now for YouTube. So good, and again, it's because the bun is so soft and buttery, and the bacon and the cheese just have so much flavor. And they're only €5.50 a piece, around there, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on which ones you get. Definitely worth it. And again, they're in the Jordaan, right on the Prinsengracht, right across the street from Winkel 43, and the Noorderkerk, the Northern Church. Our next place is very old school. In fact, it's on one of the oldest streets here in Amsterdam, on the Nieuwe Dijk. The place is called the Banketbakkerij van der Linde. And back in the day, when they started in 1937, they were a bakery and making delicious baked goods. But today, they make ice cream, and they only make one flavor, just like Van Stopple only makes one type of cookie, and it is very delicious. I've got to lick this because it's sort of melting as I'm talking to you. It's only one kind of cream. There's no flavor. It's not really even ice cream. It's like frozen whipped cream. So it's just basically cream. It's not vanilla, but it has a very unique texture and flavor. It's basically frozen cream. And it is the only kind of ice cream they make, and it is delicious. They only take cash. The small was €1.70, and the large is like €2.40, and there's a medium for €2, something like that. It's here on the Nieuwe Dijk in the center on the shopping street, just next to the Beurs Passage. And I take people on my tours through here occasionally, and when I do, I always suggest that we stop and get an ice cream. Here at a place called the Petit Hemelrijk in the city center. Now, the Big Hemelrijk is a famous restaurant in De Pijp that serves traditional Dutch food. But they have a smaller version that's here somewhere between the Jordaan and Dam Square, and they also have a bakery. Now, they're famous for a certain dessert that they've been making since 1949, and it's called a ventelteefje, and that literally translates to flipping ditch, but with a B. And what it is it's a big piece, or a big thick piece of brioche bread that they get from Friesland up north in Holland. And then they dip it in egg and milk. I think they do mostly egg, and they fry it and they lightly toast it. And then they serve it with cinnamon and sugar. And here at the smaller restaurant, you can get it with ice cream. And they have other flavors as well, but I'm going to try the classic with cinnamon, sugar, and ice cream. Oh, it's chewy. That ventelteefje was Good. I don't think I've ever tasted anything like it. It is like a French toast, but it is the bread that is the star. It is thick, it is chewy, it is sweet, and of course the sugar and cinnamon, the ice cream are nice, but it really is the bread that's the star. If you go to their bakery, which is next door, you can get it to go. You won't get it with ice cream, but you will get it with whipped cream. So yeah, don't be put off that you only have to sit down to get a Venteltafia. You can get them to go, just like all the other street food. So I'd like to know what you think, what you found the tastiest, or what looked the best to you. And also, would you guys wait in line for any of these foods, sometimes for over an hour? Anyway, I'd like to hear your opinion, and please leave a comment below. I do give walking tours through the city of Amsterdam through my company Amsterdam and You. If you want to book a tour with me, please go to amsterdamandyu.com. Well, until then, I'm Dan Jerry for Amsterdam Calling, hoping all of your days are lief, leuk en lekker. Tot de volgende keer.